Assalamu alaikum and welcome to part 3 for characters and string. And in this part, we are going to be discussing the string.h library. And this is a totally different library. This is solely made for strings, which means that we are not talking about any numbers inside strings. We are not talking about any long, any digits or unsigned long or any doubles or any floats inside it. This is purely a string library. And inside the string library, we have a lot amount of functions over there. And if I just go back on your book over there, I have the book in front of you. If I open the book chapter, because I have been scrolling this book now over there. So for the chapter over here, chapter number 8, this is actually about chapter article number 8.7, which is we are starting in this part 3. And in fact, not 8.7, this is 8.6. And in 8.6, the functions which are there are actually the ones which are in string.h, and these are actually the first functions which I'm talking about is actually the string copy, the string ncopy, the strnccat function, and the strncat. Now, just a bit of brief word about this all. String copy means strcpy means that you are going to copy the contents of one string to another. String ncopy means that you are actually going to copy only n number of characters from that string, and certainly that string is going to be s2. And if you're talking about strcat, which means that you're going to catenate two strings over there, so here the two strings are s1 and s2. So S2 will be appended to S1 end over there. And then if you're talking about strncat, then you are actually going to append uh, n number of digits from S2 into S1 over there. And if I go back on your slides over there, the same things are being discussed over there in the. So this is the string.h library, and the functions are written over there. The categories are also defined over here in this slide. You can see the str copy is used for the copy. Strncopy is just for the n number of characters inside the strings over there. The catenation function is done by the strcat or strncat. Comparing the string means strcmp. This is article number 8.8 from your chapter. Strncmp is actually going to compare n number of characters from both of them over there. And if you're talking about the searching, which means you are going to search a certain character or the first occurrence of that character inside it. Str means that you are going to actually find a substring over there or searching a string inside another string over there. Of course, two strings are going to be the function parameters over there. Tok is actually a tokenizer. I will be discussing it at the very end over there. And the very important function, which is actually going to give you the length of your string over there, or actually the number of characters inside your string array or the character array, or actually a string pointer, whatever you are actually working over there. And that's actually going to be the string.h library. Now, without delay further, let's see what is the string copy, str copy. In fact, I have just copied all of them. I've written a small code here in front of you, and you can see over there in this file, I have made 5 or 6 different type of strings over there, or actually a character arrays over there, because you can give any thing over there. I have a character X over there. The size is equal to 40, but at present I have only put it inside my name over there. It's Lan Rahim over there. And this is the array C over there, and this is the array B over there. And X and C, they both are exactly the same. B is, I've not given any size, so practically this is going to be having the size as given over there. In this case, A, Y, and Z are totally empty. They are totally empty, but having some different sizes over there. The first string, a function which is inside the string.h, you have to include this string.h library inside it. So if you are going to copy strcpy, the two parameters, also the two functions parameters are y and x. This means that x contents will be copied inside y. And what is the x content? X content is Arslan Rahim, which is the character inside this x over there. The y is actually an empty, as you can see over there. It has in the size 1 over there. So practically this contents will be copied over there, and of course the null terminator will also be copied. So when this string copy is done over there, the printf command, you can just simply using the format specifier \n just to keep it on the other line or the next printing has to be done. So y will be printed. So contents of x will be copied inside the y. This is simple string copy. So whatever the function is being given two parameters, the second function strings is going to be copied into the first one. Then you have strncopy, and here stands for how many number of characters from the second string you are actually going to copy. So I'm now using here a z over there. I will just show you when I run this command, the printf statement over there. Just first of all, let me complete through this 3 or 4 different commands, and then we can go on towards the full final run of this one, and I will explain them in between. Then strncopy zx3. So z over here is again a new one, size 2, that is 15 over there. X over here is that Aslan Rahim string over there, and 3 here means that I'm just going to copy the first 3 of these ones and then copy inside z over there. Z is going to be overridden. Please remember, this is not catenation, which means you're not joining the two strings over there, you are just overriding this one. So even if you have some data inside it, it will be overridden over there. Now 3 is over here, so just to change the case over there, let's say I just came it at 6 over there. So this means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or maybe I can call it 7 if I want to include the whole name. And but one thing very important in this string and copy, because you are only copying a portion of a string over there, in this case Arsalan name over there, that will be copied inside z over there. So you are not copying the null terminator. So that null terminator has to be added by your over there. So at z position 7, you have to add your null terminator. Why? Because z is empty at present when you're going to copy this Arsalan. So this will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be empty. So 7 has to be putting a double terminator, because if you are going to ask it to print, then you are using the percentage s specifier, then it will not be printed because it will be having a segmentation fault or a fragmentation error over there, because the null terminator is actually the one which is going to be required by the format specifier. So this is one, you can call it discrepancy in the string n copy. The string copy or str copy does not do that. It copies the null terminator because you're copying the whole string into the other one. Remember one thing, if y is having a small size as the next, then it will also cause a problem for you. So you have to be very careful when you are copying from one contents to the other. The contents, the destination, which is always the first parameter, has to have adequate space for the second parameter, which is actually the source over there. Remember, destination is always the first parameter. Then coming on to string cat over there, string cat means you are actually going to have x and b combined together. So x is something like this, b is this thing which having a space started from the teacher at UET. So what is going to happen? This B content is going to be copied inside X at this time. And since X has a type size of 40, so this means it has an adequate space inside it. So this can be increased over there, and 40 is going to be adequate size for all this text, Aslan and Rahim space and all that. And you don't need to actually put an null terminator for this one. So this will be automatically copied over there, and you don't need to tell the catenation operator that you have to put a null terminator. It will automatically, null terminator will be added when the two are appended together. Then the next thing, that is you are going to have c comma b comma 4, which means you are having strncat. C over here is again a new function over there, which is having just like the x over there. I just made two different arrays of character having the same contents inside it, just to show the two functions over there. And over here b is the same thing which is going to be appended to it, but this time only first 4 are going to be copied, which means that a are sorry, this one a is space is and space, this will be copied over there. The remaining thing will not be copied over there. And these 4, this statement, this statement, this statement, and this statement, these are going to print you the string copy, the string n copy, the string catenation function, or string rncat. So if I just run this one, let's see what is happening over there. So now you can see over there, the first thing is Arslan and Rahim, because you are just having a copy paste over there, which means from the X content, Y is being the Y was previously empty. Then then afterwards when you are just copying the first two over there, so then z is being printed over there, and z is actually empty initially, but you are just copying 7 over there, and 7 over here means that you are actually copying the whole name, my name Arslan over there. If you change this supposedly to just say like 5 over there, then just the 5 characters of it are going to be printed. You can see just ARSAL are being copied. Then coming on to the string catenation function, you can see because B is being appended to X, and what is B? B is this statement that is spaced with is a teacher at UET, and X is this Arslan Rahim. So now X becomes Arslan Rahim is a teacher at UET. And then afterwards, the last thing that is that strncat, that is C, comma B, comma 4. This is actually the string catenation, but only the four characters from B are actually being copied. And what is B? So this is a space, is and space. So those 4 are being copied. So you can see Arslan Rahim is being copied over there. If you change something, let's say I change it to something like 10 over there. So now the first 10 characters are going to be, if I just run it again, so you can see Aslan Rahim is our teach. I have since just given 10 over there. So that's why it's just copying it up till this point over there. So this is actually 10 characters over there. Otherwise, if I give it as approximately 21 or something, let's say if I call it like something as a 21 over there, because that is giving me the Visual Studio over there, you can see now the whole statement is copied. So if you want to just copy a portion of it or catenate the string to another one, then you can use the strncat. If you want to hold the whole of the two strings over there, then you can use strcat. But if you are only want to copy the contents from one to the other, which means overwriting the previous one, this destination, which is actually y in this case, or the first one, then you are actually going to use strcpy. And if you just want to copy just some contents of it, especially starting from the first one to the fifth digit, sixth digit, seventh digit, and you know what type you want to copy, then strncpy is being copied over here by this 3 argument thing. So this is that string factors over there, or the string which are being copied over there. Going back to this one, so these are the 5 one, and remember all these four ones, and actually the fifth one is not shown over there. So these 4 ones are actually going to give you the output in form of a character pointer. Remember, this is a character pointer because the output which they are doing over there, I'm just using them one, I'm not storing their output over there, but practically if I want to give it, there will be actually giving me a pointer output over there, because they are actually changing that particular string character or string pointer over there in that case. Then the next thing, these are the same examples over there. You can go through them. These examples, these are available in the repository from the GitHub. If you just go through this one, they are available over there. These are the same sorry, not this one over there, the string cat, strncat, or the strcat. You can go through this one yourself. I have just made you a different one just for the understanding. The next of the string functions, which is very important, one is called as the string compare or the string and compare. Now this is something very, very important. Listen to this very carefully, and this will be very much visible over there whenever you want to compare strings. Now comparing strings does not mean that you are going to compare them with 1 2 3 just like numbers over there. You are actually going to compare their ASCII values. So when you have that happy new year over there and you are comparing this string with this happy new year over there, this means that you are actually going to have the result as 0, because they both are exactly the same thing. But when you are going to compare S1 with S3, supposedly, which means that the first 6 digits are, or the 6 characters are not digits, actually the characters are same. So what will happen if you are comparing the two overall, then this n will be compared with h, and ASCII value of n and ASCII value of h, they both are different. So n actually is on the higher side, h is going to on the lower side over there, because of course in alphabetical order n comes a little later, h comes. So the ASCII value of h is smaller. So if you are going to compare S1 with S3, and the first parameter here, as you can see over there, S1 comma S3. So now this time when S1 is greater than S3, why is greater than S3? Because n is greater than h, then the result would be positive. which means that the result of this function would be positive over there. And then over there, if you swap the two things, which means you make S3 compare with S1 over here, now this time the answer would be negative. So what I mean by this one, let me just run this program so you can have an idea what I mean by this over there. So when you are doing this one, you can see now a string compare, when you're comparing the two S1 and S2, the two pointers to the string over there, they both are exactly the same. So the answer is 0. You can see the answer is 0. But when you have strcmp, S1, S3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, six first digits are same. So the answer is 6 over there. And but it is positive. So this means that the S1 is greater than S3 over there because of this ASCII value of n compared to h over there. But when you flip the two parameters over there of the string compare function, then S3, S1, so the answer is -6 over there, because you just have to tell the result over there that it's going to be positive or negative. Remember, the answer is positive when the first argument is greater than the second one, which means that the ASCII value of that number which is being, if the two strings are exactly the same, they have the exact same number of contents, they have the same alphabetical value, and all these alphabets or characters are same, then certainly this is going to be having no difference and the answer would be 0. Now, just a small variation of the string comparison function is strncmp, which means we are just going to compare the specific number of characters of the first two strings over there. So if supposedly you can see happy over here, the first six are same for all three of them. So if you just compare the first six with S1 and S3, the answer is 0. You can see the answer is 0. But if you compare the seventh one, because the seventh one is NNH over there, and if you're comparing S1 with S2, then you will be having the same one because they both are exactly same. But if you are going to compare S1 with S3, then this seventh one is actually going to be different. So when you are going to get the answer would be exactly just like the previous one, that is 6 over there. And if you compare the seventh one over there, and by swapping the two arguments, the first two arguments or the first two parameters over there, then the answer is going to be -6 over there. So these are very two functions. You can use them to compare two names over there. You can use them for some password validation over there. So these functions are available inside the String.h over there, and they are very, very easy to use and completely easily to understand. So I hope so this is completely understandable over there. Coming on to the next thing after the string copy, catenation, and the comparison functions, as I've just told you, we have just got through the string compare. And remember, the output type of this function or the return type is int. You can see, I've already seen the answer is either 0 or it's depending upon the number of values or the number of characters which are same over there. If it's going to be the first one is going to be then greater than the last second argument over there, then you are going to have a positive answer. If it is vice versa, it will be negative over there. So the same thing, if it is 0, if they are equal, a negative value if the first string is less than the second string, or a positive value if the first string is greater than the second string, which I have just shown you over here. Then the next type of, this is the same code we have just gone through over there. You are comparing the ASCII or the Unicode function. Then the search string for the string handle library, this is something very, very important. And if you see closely over there, the search strings over here, this is strchr. Here you are actually going to find that particular character inside a string. So the parameters are a string pointer and then a input character. So you are actually going to find this character. Remember, this is int over there. This, don't confuse it over there. This can be char as well. But remember, char character has an ASCII value because it is 8 bits or 1 byte over there. So it has a value. So even if you just write down 65 over there, this will be actually taken as uh, a capital A over there, because in ASCII value 65 is equal to capital A. So strchr, this will locate the first occurrence of the character in string, and the output would be that the strchr returns a pointer to C in S. So this will be actually pointing out the point where that character is found. Remember, this is one character to be found out in that whole string, which is given as an argument inside over there. If it is not found, then it's a null pointer is returned. Then let me just go through this example. I will just use the example given inside this over here. You can see over there, I have a string over here. This is our test. So I have a string over there and it's a constant, which means I'm made it constant. I don't want to change it. So I have a character over here, which is a, small a, and I know a is over here at this point. I have also one character 2, which I have called it z. Now z is not available inside it. So what I'm doing over there, I have a if statement over there, and if statement means that if str here stands for string, chr stands for character. So if this character is inside that str, so you have the string comma character 1. String is the pointer over there, which is actually pointing out to that memory location of that string. Character 1 is that character which you are giving as an input. Remember, you can you can write down 65 even here as well. And if this not is equal to null, if that is not equal to null, this means that you are going to printf that this character was found inside this string over there. So this will be automatically printing the character string over there in this part. And else if this is not found, which means if it is not equal to null or which it is equal to null, then this is going to be giving you the character string over there. So you are going to have a lot amount of printing being done. So if I just run this code, let me just run this code in front of you, and you can see a was found inside. This is a test, but z was not found. This is a test over there. So over here, this is over here giving you the output that a was found inside this text over there, or z was not found inside. This is a test over there. So this is a very simple code giving you. Please remember, this is a printf statement, and this printf statement is giving you the output over there inside over there. So this is your strchr code over there.